Okay. All right, let's just give people just maybe one more minute or so. I see some people in the waiting room coming on.
Yes, I'm here.
Good job.
Elton is literally on his.
I love it. Okay, so if you are in an
Elton
area where it's going to be a little noisy or
is
the
literally on
background
his
noise, if you
scooter.
can mute yourself, that would be great just for everybody else's pleasure. And please don't be offended if I do mute you because your sound is just being a little disruptive. We get it. Okay, and we have 20 people in now. Okay, so let's get started. My name is Mary Beth Olive. This is being recorded, so we will have a YouTube channel as well to see a playlist where you can revisit it. My name is Mary Beth Olive, and I have been with KW for 19 years. This is actually my 20th year. I started my career with Keller Williams, and I reside in New Jersey, as well as I do own a home on Aruba. And that is just 1 year. So I'm really getting acclimated to the island and the island life. And I hope that I could be a great resource to all of you. I can be your connection into KW. If you have any questions offline, you're going to have access to me. You can email me or text me through the WhatsApp. And so I can be your resource worldwide. In the States, referrals, if you just have questions about training or just doing your job at a very high level, no matter where you are in your business. I understand that on the islands, it's very different in that there's not licensing where you're going to go to real estate school, and so a lot of choosing to go into real estate is because somebody told you to, or you thought it would be a good idea, or it just made sense, and maybe it was by accident. I also noticed that a lot of business owners are in the real estate business on the islands, and that's great because the truth is it is a business. And when you get into this career, real estate sales, and you never know where it's going to take you, the truth is it is a business. You're not just working for a company, you have to build your own business. And at Keller Williams, we give you the ability to build a couple of businesses inside of our umbrella. And I'm really here to help expose all the opportunities to you and just be able to point you in the right direction, help you build a foundation to your career in real estate, no matter where you are. I know we have some experienced people here as well. And I'd love to get to know you a little bit before we dive into the material. So this may go about 10 minutes, 15 minutes over. But once again, it is recorded. So if you can't stay, we're not going to be offended. So, if you don't mind, if you are sitting at the desk and you can, I'd love for you to just change your name in the top corner of the box. You'll see 3 dots. Just go ahead and before your name, put what office you're with so that everybody can also know everybody. I believe that we're just Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. So, no need to put KW, maybe just the islands right before your name. And the reason for that is because during a class like this, what I notice, whether it's in person or virtual, and we just finished a fully virtual one right here in the States because we have a lot of agents that are dual career and they can't make the daytime. And so what I noticed is referrals will go through these boxes, right? You may realize, oh, I didn't realize that Zita is in Curacao, and let me connect with her. I really liked what she was saying on that Zoom that we were on. So just be mindful of that because you don't have to look outside of our KW family anymore. You can refer right within, and that is one of the best resources here at KW. So if you wouldn't mind, has anybody been in the business? Is anybody brand new? If you have a little reactions button on the bottom and you could raise your hand. You could give a wave, you could give a heart, but is anybody brand new, like less than 1 year in the real estate sales business? I'd love to see what we're dealing with, right? And hey, we all started there, right? We all started there. And who's doing it less than 10 years, right? So in the last 10 years, you got into the business. Okay. Okay. And then how many people are over 10 years in the business, in the real estate business, any aspect of it? Let me see my senior people. Right. Okay. Okay. So Heidi and Suzanne, John Patrick, Brenda. Okay. Zita. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I've been in the business for 20 years. I started when I was 26 years old. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. And I definitely didn't own real estate. I still lived with my parents. I was living in New Jersey and I was in the real estate, I mean the restaurant business coming into real estate. So real estate was an accident for me in that we got into a car accident and I was in bed for 3 months and I had to really understand what was my life going to be like. I wanted bigger, I wanted better, I wanted more. And a great customer from my restaurant said to me, hey, when you get better, I want to take you for lunch and I think you should get into real estate. So fast forward, I got into real estate in 3 weeks in New Jersey. I took the test, I took the state test, I was licensed, I was ready to go. And he said to me, I said, I'm going to come work with you. And he said, nope, I would do you a disservice. You need to go find a company that is going to train you and is going to be a fair compensation. And so I found Keller Williams in 2004, and it was very, very new to New Jersey. We were in Keller who, Keller what is that? Right? They thought we were a paint company, Sherwin-Williams. We thought they were the sister company of the Sherwin-Williams family. And it was very challenging. And I'm sure some of you are going through that now in your markets of what is Keller Williams or what is KW. And the truth is, you're KW, I'm KW. You show up at the table, you have a database of people that you impact. And so got into the real estate. And in my first year in the business, and I really just encourage you, first year in the business, I used my red book, which if you don't have it, I'm sure you can get. I'm going to give it to you via PDF, but this is the MREA, which a lot of these models and systems come from. Okay, so my book is well used, and you'll see that as we go through the material, a lot of it will come into the Ignite material and the rest of the stuff too. The first session here with Ignite is really a deep dive into a bit about KW. Heidi, do you have a question with your hand up, or I can lower your hands? Heidi?
Yes?
Do you have a question? I see your hand up.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Okay. We'll go ahead and lower it. There you go. So my journey a bit, and I want to encourage you because I know that some of you are team leaders at heart. Okay. My journey with Keller Williams, 4 years in sales, and then I dove into the leadership aspect. So as we go through this first session, you're going to see probably opportunities that may speak to you. And I'm going to ask you to reach out to your leaders, to Marianne and Edwin and Darno and Ricarda, and say, hey, I might be interested in something like that. Show me the path for that. Or could I talk to Mary Beth a little bit more about that? Because I jumped into the team leader role 15 years ago. And I've helped offices grow and launch and bring this training and help people come to KW and realize that they're going to build a team or they're going to be a great leader. So, please, just kind of keep your mind open and understand that KW has lots of opportunities. And in the 15 years that I was leading offices, I guess it would be like hopping around the islands. For me, it was all the counties of New Jersey. So all different areas, 2 hours north, 1 hour south, over a couple bridges into New York City. So many, many different markets. And as a leader, as a rainmaker, as a business owner, there is a session in a couple of weeks that you need to know your market and you need to figure out how to understand the data in your market. I know it's challenging for some of you. You don't have what some other markets have where they collect the data and then you're able to analyze it. I believe that this group of agents and owners are going to be the change agents in our industry on the islands. And we're going to get that data so that we can help our consumers, our buyers and sellers make smarter decisions, better decisions, and we can really be a resource for our communities. So if it's okay, we're going to dive into the material. And I'm going to be showing you some things. We're going to set up a Google Drive. You're going to have access to the Google Drive where I'll be sharing everything that I share here will be found in that Google Drive. And then, like I said, we'll be on Facebook and we'll also be recording. So we'll be able to upload those videos. So you won't miss anything. And also, if you'd like me to go deeper into a certain topic, please let me know, privately, and we can figure out how we can get that done. So here's what I'd like, and of course, if I can't see you because we're in a small screen, please just go ahead and unmute and ask or raise your hand, and that will pop up to the top of my screen. Where did I find this? So many of you know about KW Command and Connect. Some maybe have not gone into Connect in depth. Connect has many, many courses. So you will just be going to your agent.kw.commands, to kw.com. You'll be coming in here. You could search Ignite. And when you search Ignite, you'll see all of the material that I'm pulling from when you just click on Ignite. In here, you will see a student manual, but I will be following up this with a email with the recording and the student manuals for the rest of the sessions. Okay. And so it starts here as a PowerPoint. Another, and if somebody wouldn't mind throwing this in the chat, but another site here that I love to share with you is outfront.kw.com. A lot of times we don't find this. It's like hidden somewhere, but this is a really great site that pulls all of the fresh conversations that KW is having right to the forefront. So you don't have to go diving through Connect to look for it. Okay. Another place is our KW YouTube channel. And so if you're not a subscriber to that, I really encourage you to be a subscriber here. What Gary Keller has been doing, he has been interviewing lots of our agents. That's his job as the top Rainmaker leader, is interviewing the best of the best. And here they are on video for you. So any kind of KW video that came out is going to be posted here to the site. Now, I don't know. Let's see. By show of hands, how many of you are going to be visiting with me in Vegas in February? All right. Okay. I want to see more of you. Okay. We have Tony Robbins is going to be our keynote speaker, which is so amazing. So I'm going to encourage you to get to Family Reunion. It's a game changer. Has anybody here been to Family Reunion that you could just share a little bit with others why they might want to go to Family Reunion in 24? Darno, would you want to share that?
Yeah, it's a unique experience, especially to meet other people that are really like-minded and have a lot of energy and really regard to the Keller Williams formula as a family. That's awesome.
That's right. And it's a full week of everything. I mean, you can't tell me, well, I don't like the foo-foo stuff. Well, you don't have to go to that. You can go to the 7 o'clock business meetings, 7 o'clock a.m., right? Or I just like the party stuff. Okay, well, then just don't wake up and go to the 11 o'clock keynote speaker and stay up all night. And it's going to be in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay. So we're going to be having some fun. So I'm going to encourage you to get to our conferences. We have Family Reunion in February. And then we have Mega Camp, and that always is in Texas. And they unfortunately moved it back to August, which is so hot. And it's okay because you could pretty much stay inside and scoot around Austin and have a good time. So let's dive in. Here we are in this first session, and it's about sparking your career. No matter what business you're from, and if you wouldn't mind, if you're at a desk and you could put it in the chat, what business did you do before real estate? What field were you in? Were you a caretaker? Were you a nurse? Were you a banker? Go ahead and put it in the chat so, you know, everybody can kind of see here. Yep. Oh my God, Tony Robbins is right, Ricarda. But go ahead and put it in the chat. What business were you in before this? Because you're going to be using your skills. Edwin, police. I did not know that. I met Yarno, and he said he was. So hospitality, right? So hospitality. And why I want you to think about this, if you're a great agent or if you consider yourself a great agent, we have a growth share opportunity. So as we build our offices outside of the United States, and, you know, just time out for a second. I started when we were 25,000 associates and we were only in North America. We are now almost 200,000 associates and we're in 55 regions outside of North America. To watch the growth and then to also know that profit share has been very real for me. And I share this not to boast, but I was just interviewed by Aaron Kaufman, who covers our Profit Share Mastermind and Profit Share Facebook group. Profit Share is a little different than Growth Share, but Growth Share is a very similar opportunity. And Had I known that this company would give me over $500,000 in the last 20 years that I've been with Keller Williams, just purely for building the company with great people. And I was 26 years old, I wouldn't have believed it. I probably wouldn't have come because I would have said, yeah, that's BS. However, in the last 20 years, and I can show you my reports, KW has given me over $500,000, $520,000 to be specific, in profit share. So I want you to know it's real. I've done amazing things with it. I continue to do amazing things with it. And I believe, just like KW, it took us 35 years to share $1 billion in profit share. And it's only going to take us 5 years, 6 years to share the next billion. The opportunity for you is really, really big right now. It's bigger than it was 20 years ago. So I want you to think about that. If you came from hospitality, well, there might be somebody that you love in the hospitality world in your islands that you're like, I should be introducing them to real estate. You know, and that could be a great passive income piece for you in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year. Okay. So spark your career. Typically, when you teach Ignite, it's a 4-hour class in office, and it has a lot of lead generation after the lesson is taught. So we're not going to be doing that aspect. You're not getting a full version of that. That's where we're going to hold you accountable. You're just going to get the meat of each session. But this is typically how we would run it inside of the Market Center in person. And there are 4 pillars to the class. So the first pillar is real estate expert. Next is lead generation, then lead follow-up, then the transaction, which is working with the buyers and sellers. And purposely, that's only one of the 4 pillars. It's 25% of the class, because the real work is done up front. The real work is done in the mindset. The real work is done in the first pillar of embracing your job, understanding your market, defining who you are, defining what your value is, and really having habits that support that in your personal life. You cannot tell me that you can do a fantastic job selling my house and telling me how to manage my money if you don't have a personal budget and your money is all over the place. Okay. So it is a personal journey in the first pillar, and yet we're applying it to your professional walk. The second pillar is lead generation, how you find people, how you manage a database, what business actually really is. And when we get there, you think about, you go to a doctor's office, you go to a lawyer. If they were to sell their practice, what would they be selling? They'd be selling their client base. And so are you building a business that's sellable? If you know, even if you don't intend on selling it, that's a good model to have. Is it profitable enough that I could put hey, how much is my business worth? The third pillar is follow up. And the follow up, we're going to squeeze kind of all into like one session, because there's so many things that you can do, but the secret sauce is in the follow up, in everything. And then transactions, we're going to go deep on that, how to work with buyers and sellers, specifically because I know that on the islands, we don't have too many classes that teach about how to handle a buyer or a seller. And so we're going to dive into that. Okay. And so in today's agenda, it's the new way of thinking in pillar 1, the KW culture. We're going to go over values in the Market Center, and values being with KW, and the KW resources, which we did just touch on a few of them. And then your career vision. So I also would encourage you that if any of you have a regular Gmail, not a KW Gmail, and you would like to have a KPA done, which is a Keller personality assessment. For some reason, it doesn't work with the KW Aruba email, but if you have a regular Gmail or Yahoo or Outlook or something, and you would like to have a report done on you personally, you can go ahead and email that to me. It's molive@kw.com. It's also in the marketing, and you'll get an email, and I'll get you a personal report. And we may be able to go over that in one of our sessions. And the reason why that's important is because you know who you are, and then you'll know how you need to show up for your clients, and you'll know what values inside of KW like really speak to you. Okay. So, like I said, any questions, please shout it out. Tell me, hey, Mary Beth, there's one in the chat. Okay. So anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will you? They say, tell everybody in the Zoom to go do it. I'm going to tell all 34 of us, let's go do it. Let's make $1 million in a year. And one will do it. Who's going to be it? 2 will do it. So this is where you kind of remove those limiting beliefs and dive into the 6 personal perspectives. So the 6 personal perspectives, you will find a specific course on this. You will also find it in the good old red book. Commit to self-mastery. Here's the 6, and you will often revisit this inside of the course material. Because commit to self-mastery. Commit to 80-20. You know, deciding what is 80, what is 20. Where do my priorities lie? Moving from E to P, and we're going to dive into these. Being learning based, removing your limiting beliefs, and then staying accountable. And of all of them, there's not one that's more important. And yet you may be really strong at one, and there may be one that you're very weak at. And in this here, I will say it is important for you to work on all 6 pillars. When we get into some of our behavioral assessments, it's not always important for you to work on something in your makeup that is not a strength of yours. It's smart to complement yourself with maybe a partner or an assistant or some piece of leverage, but not always do you need to be great at everything. In this case, with these 6, I do encourage you to embrace all 6. Okay, so commit to self-mastery. Know your goals, know your strengths, know how to work, both your strengths and your weaknesses. What do you think give me an example of when you think you've committed to self-mastery? Maybe not in real estate, but in something else. Has anybody felt like they've committed to mastering something? So maybe an example might be, go ahead, Jean Patrick.
Oh, yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah, so not to brag or anything, but I've done a lot of sports in the past. One of the sports that I've done was windsurfing. And so putting a lot of hours into that craft made me become a world champion in 2015.
Wow.
So I kind of know what it means to put in the work and to master at something.
Well, thank you very much, because you said it all. You said I couldn't have asked for a better person to speak. You put the hours in. I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure in the beginning it wasn't fun, or it could have been painful. And
Oh,
then
it was always fun. It was always fun.
always fun.
That's
Okay.
why I did it also.
So passion shows up in our mastery, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if
yeah.
we think we're gonna master something and we're not gonna put time into it,
Yeah, no, it wasn't easy,
right?
but it was fun.
All right, thank you. And so with self-mastery, and just to kind of put a bow on that, here's what I'll encourage you. If you're first, we have to master ourselves before we can go and master the skills of sales, the building out a business, right? Hiring people. First, you have to master yourself. And the first thing I would say is, what are you reading? What are you eating? Who are you hanging with? Right? When you start thinking about mastery, am I being the best version of myself with what I have? Like with the tools that I have, am I showing up and doing it? Or could I be giving a little more? Am I doing the wrong habit? Do I have the wrong habit? So there's a lot of reflection there that I believe in self-mastery, and it's an ongoing journey. So just by being aware that there is that process of working towards something, mastering skills, mastering yourself, is a big one. And then 2 is commit to the 80-20 principle. This is also known as Pareto's theory. 20% of your actions leads to 80% of your results, right? I would say if we had 100 agents, 20 of them are super engaged and they're going to make a career out of it. It's usually what happens. You have a classroom of 100 students, and 20 are going to excel and 80 might kind of flounder. Maybe out of that, another 40 might do okay, and the other 40 are like, where are they? The 80-20 principle shows up in everything. If you take a look around, you look at your day and you say, what of my day, if I make a list of 10 things, how many of these items absolutely have to happen in order for my day to be successful? Right? So that points actually to a book that we have, which is called The One Thing. And it's all about measuring your 80-20 and then deciding in your 20, what's the 20% inside the 20%. because all things are not equal when we're attempting to achieve goals. All things may take the same time, and yet we can't have the same weight on them. We have to be able to decipher the 80-20 inside of our day, inside of our business. And so when we get to some other conversations, what it might sound like is, tell me about your day and all the things that you do, and let's see how many of those things were money-making activities. Which one of those things generated an appointment or a signature or an agreement? Or did all of those things just feel good, kind of kept you busy? Maybe they were necessary, but they could have happened at a different time. So, we think about that in our business, and it's easy to make to-do lists, and this points to us making success lists. Okay. And E to P is entrepreneurial to purposeful. So there have been times in life where you've hit a ceiling. I use this one often is somebody wants to lose some weight, and they want to lose 20 pounds. And naturally you lose 5 pounds, let's say, by just stop eating after 7:00 p.m. Start losing some weight, a couple pounds come off. Then you start adding water, a couple more pounds come off. You start walking, a couple more pounds come off. Those are breaking through the ceiling. At the end of it, you're hiring a trainer, and that's the next breaking through the ceiling to get the final pounds off or to get the shape that you desire. So in business, it's very similar. For me, 21 transactions, 16 buyers, that was my ceiling. I could not break through that ceiling. 16 buyers meant I was working with 40 and I was closing 16 in a year. By myself, that was the max buyers I could handle at the time. So what did I do? Well, I followed the model, and the model says go get an assistant. Put an assistant in place for 10 hours a week, literally $100 a week. Back then it was 10 hours, $10 an hour cash, right? Eventually it turned into 15, eventually it turned into 40 hours. But the first thing was 10 hours a week, come give me 2 to 3 days. And that woman helped me continue to do business and up it to 12 listings and 28 buyers. Okay, so breaking through the ceiling in business may mean like command, leveraging your database. It also may mean getting an assistant in place. It may mean just having a showing agent or a partner so that you can take out 4 buyers when they decide to all show up on the island the same weekend, right? I know you guys are going to be going into a heavy season, right? People are coming to visit the islands. I'll be there in December into January, and I'm sure it's going to, so if you have 3 showings all on the same Saturday at 10 o'clock, what are you going to do? So this is where we have to say, how do I sell 3 houses in one day? Well, it's going to be through leverage. And okay, and breaking through the ceiling is the E to P. So now entrepreneurial to purposeful is what the E to P stands for. 4 is being learning based, right? Being learning based for the foundation of your and being learning based or being ignorance based. I'm preaching to the choir because you're here on a beautiful sunny morning on an island. And this here is I believe the foundation of Keller Williams. I believe it's the foundation of why we grew during a very challenging time last time we had a shift in the North America market. And now, as we're going into this very strange time in our market, it is very different. And I want to hear from you guys, but it's different here. We just had a huge lawsuit that is challenging our commissions. We had a huge lawsuit in National Association of Realtors that is they actually won. They don't want to pay the buyer's agents anymore. They want the buyer's agents to go get paid from their own representation. And so the way we've been doing business is the seller pays it and it comes from the proceeds. So a buyer doesn't have to come out of pocket. And now they want our buyer to come out of pocket on top of high interest rates. We're going through a challenging time in this market. And yet we will get through it. And being with Keller Williams, training will always be how we get through a tough market. Is what do we need to know? How do we need to pivot? Who do we need to be connected to? Because I will say to you, with all of this weirdness happening here, people are leaving. People are leaving the United States and choosing to live elsewhere. And so you may be the recipient of the craziness over here. But if you don't have the connection with somebody in the United States, in all the states, referral partners, you won't be the one to be the receiving of the referral, will you? So let's really keep that in mind. I think that's the biggest opportunity for our worldwide family, is to connect with our United States agents that have referrals already. I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. So we kind of lead with this: stay curious, get out of judgment with people, period. With the agent on the other end, with your client, with the notaries that you're working with, just stay curious. I find that it just makes us be the better person inside the transaction, right? When we can ask lots of questions and come from curiosity instead of coming from a judgment. Assumptions get us in trouble, guys. So 5 is removing the limiting beliefs. And this happens when you have, when you're older than 8 years old. That's when it happens. Okay. By the time you're 8 years old, you've already developed who you are, how you kind of think about things. Your family has shaped you, your environment shaped you a bit, right? But as we grow into maturity, we have limiting beliefs, but we can remove them because we see what's possible. Guys, I will tell you that I have seen people go from nothing to everything. Anybody familiar with Ben Kinney from Washington, New York, Washington State? Ben Kinney? No? I encourage you to look up Ben Kinney. Ben Kinney, have you heard of Kristen Cole from Alaska yet? Kristen Cole. I see her saying yes, and maybe Toist. So here's the thing. Kristen Cole, Ben Kinney's story is amazing, right? Ben Kinney grew up poor as anything in Alaska. Him and his father slept on a couch that they broke in half. I mean, it's a true story. He sat on panels and shared this. He would shake the cans to see what he was going to eat before he'd open it, because if you open it, you got to eat it, right? So he'd shake it so that he'd get the fruit cup. They lived so poor, they hunted for their food, okay? This guy, a couple years ago, and I know it's well beyond this, he created a company. He used to be a cable guy. He got inspired to get into real estate because he went and he was installing cable in a duplex. And when he was speaking to the owner, she said, a duplex side by side, she said, oh yeah, I just bought this. I'm going to live in one and I'm going to rent out the other. And I'm actually going to pay nothing to live here. And he said, well, and he started to think about real estate. Well, fast forward a few years ago, Ben Kinney's real estate sales did over $25 million in 1 year. $25 million generated in residential real estate sales in 1 year. So I've seen what's possible. I had a young agent who came, 5 kids from Brooklyn, no experience in business at all. She came into our world. She took what's a class called Bold. And in the first 8 weeks, she took 16 listings. So anything is possible. What do you want to do? And are you willing to do what it takes, right? So remove your limiting beliefs, but understand that there's going to be work behind accomplishments. And this is my favorite. I encourage you to print this out, put it in your house, because often inside this environment, we stay on the right-hand side. And sometimes our household could get on the left-hand side. And sometimes our offices can too. But life happens and reality shows up. So what happens? What happens is on the left side, you don't seek reality. Ignorance happens. You fight reality. You go into default. You say, well, that's not the way it is, right? You blame people. Projection. It was her fault. She did it. Well, if she didn't, she had done this, then I could have done that. Personal excuses. Well, I'm not smart enough. I'm not tall enough. I don't live close enough. And then they wait and hope. Well, we'll see what's going to happen. Who the heck wants to hang out with that person? That's draining. And yet we all get there sometimes. And when we do, we got to jump on the right side and our clients get there sometimes, right? They're they're disappointed. They're not getting showings. They didn't get the offer they wanted. And you got to stay on the right side. The right side is reality shows up and you seek reality. Okay, awareness. What's the situation? Let me see what I got to do. Acknowledges reality. Clarity. What is actually going on? Got it. Let me go do something about it. Owns it. Takes ownership. Takes action. Finds solutions. And then gets on with it. Right? That's being accountable. That's energizing. And as a leader, you need to stay on the right-hand side. And so often you might just need that reminder in your office. You might need that post. So happiness is not an individual sport. It does take two to tango. And what I find is we are responsible for choosing those people that hang around us. You know, even our family. We can pour into our family so that they can talk a little different. So let's back out of here with the 6 personal perspectives. And I'd love to hear at least 3 ahas on the 6 personal perspectives. I know some of you have heard these before, but it's always a good reminder. So the 80-20, limiting beliefs, being accountable. Anyone? All right, quiet bunch. There's also a PowerPoint presentation with that 6 personal perspectives. And I will make sure that your leaders have it just in case you want to dive into it a little bit more. All right, so let's move on into the KW culture. Okay, so MVVBP, and it's like it's an acronyms and all these Kellerisms. It's a lot of that. Okay, MVVBP is extremely important. We talk about it, I believe, in the next session. It's your value proposition. It's your mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. Okay, Red Day. We give back to the community. KW Cares. It's our philanthropic arm. KW Kids Can. It's our quantum leap. And diversity, equity, and inclusion. All about diversity. We have a new sector. And then our cultural ambassadors we recognize at our national conferences. So the mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives, our mission at KW. And you will hear this over and over again. It may even be on some of your walls. So who can read this for me? Go ahead, Lars. Can you go ahead and read this for me? Vivi, you're next if you keep smiling like that.
Just read it out loud.
Yeah, go ahead.
To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experience worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Thank you. Thank you. So we just added experiences worth giving and legacies worth leaving. If you've hung around a little while, I'm sure you've seen it, you've heard it, but this is our mission at Keller Williams: to build careers worth owning, businesses worth having, lives worth living, experience worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. What we realized is it's not just about the business and the life, it is about what we do and how we leave this earth as well. And then our belief system, this is our Y4C2Ts. I know some of you might be like, what? Y4C2Ts. Okay, so it's a win-win or it's no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. That one right there is where we stay in curiosity. That one right there gets us intimate with our customers to become clients. When we seek first to understand, where would you move if you had to move? Why are you moving? Talk to me about what has to happen in order for you to move. Right? So seeking first, not just assuming, oh, they have a for sale by owner sign, or, oh, this guy wants to sell his house. He probably wants to do it fast. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe let's understand why, or maybe understand why they're afraid to put it on the market, why they're afraid to buy. Creativity, ideas before results. First, we need foundational models. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all, and success. Results through people is huge. And here are the 3 that we were saying. Red Day, Now, have you guys did your Red Day project last year? I believe Aruba did, right? Let me see some heads. Yes. Yes. Okay. Somebody tell me what you did. What charity did you give back to, or what impact did you make? Jacqueline, do you want to share? Were you with us at that point? No, you're with us this coming year.
No,
I
maybe
guess it's
maybe Sam can explain.
Go ahead, Sam.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm cultural ambassador for Aruba, and
Yay!
last year or this year, we organized a day for kids in need from Dakota with the, how do you say that? Together with the leader from the YMCA in Dakota, we organized a nice day for them. That we took them shopping, we took them out for lunch, and then we took them to the zoo.
Aw,
That was it.
that was
Yeah,
amazing.
we had
So
buses and everything. It was nice.
Okay, where are you guys? I can't find you. Hold on 1 second. Oh no. I have to find you guys. You're down here somewhere. Hey.
Yes, Mary Beth, maybe it's nice to mention, it's not only Red Day, you know, in Bonaire, actually, Andrea's actually helping with that, with the food bank there. So every, I think it's every month, they help with the food bank, once a month on Friday. Yeah, they do a very good job.
Well, thank you for that, Edwin, because it is. If you, as an office, can do something in your community that you're known for, like if you're doing it every week, every month. One of the things that we do here in Perth Amboy, New Jersey at the By the Bay office is we feed the community the last Tuesday of the month. And we also host the Thanksgiving community event, which is 3,000 meals. So we will be cooking 60 turkeys and 60 hams and all that. And I really encourage you, that has been a huge piece of our business, that people know us because we do that. Then they call on us when they have questions about real estate. And so you don't exactly go into it because of business and for business, but when you're giving back into a community, they just can't help to want to work with you when they know what you do. So don't be a secret agent. I don't know if we have badges, name badges, but I would encourage you to get some name badges. So when you're around, you're at the grocery store, maybe you're doing your charity, you're wearing your badge. And if it's not a badge, it's a t-shirt, ask me about real estate, put your QR code on the front, brand yourself, let people know that you're a local community resource. You connect people. Do you guys not know all the painters in town if somebody were to need somebody to get their house painted, or the best pizzerias, or the best chicken wings? Right? I asked my agents in Aruba when I was there last time, where do I get the best chicken wings? So be a resource to your community, and you'd be surprised how much comes back to you. And so just to reiterate, KW Cares is our philanthropic arm where you can donate through your closings. And also when we've had hurricanes, we've had natural disasters, KW Cares has come through. On the Northeast United States, we had Sandy back in 2012, I believe it was, Hurricane Sandy, and it destroyed New York area. And I was a recipient of it. We had about 50 huge trucks come through from all areas of the East Coast with supplies, water, blankets, food, so we could disperse to the local community. So I've seen it at firsthand. I encourage you to give back to that arm because it does amazing things. And the last one is KW Kids Can, which is quantum leap courses that are taught for our young adults. That is something that I am going to be offering come the new year, and you will be able to partake in that because it's a charity. So it's we do a little donation and I throw a class, and I encourage some of you to become QL instructors if you desire. So now let's just dive in a little bit about our national and international, right? Largest global real estate franchise. Even though some people still don't know us, we have to educate them. Top franchise for veterans, top female-friendly company, top 500 franchises in 2022, and so on. We've been recognized throughout the years for tons of consumer, I think it's like JD Powers, over and over and over again. So, you know, we have been recognized on a national level, which makes it a lot easier for you. We say we are a local expertise with a global reach, right? And you can use that as well, a local expertise with a global reach. We talked about the events, family reunion, mega camp. KW University is inside of Connect, so you'll be able to find all the classes that are there. And then KW Maps, it is our coaching arm. By a show of hands, anybody with a Maps coach right now, besides maybe our OP is, I'm not sure that we're doing that just yet. But if you are interested in potentially becoming a coach, that's something that we could talk about as well. Bold is a class called Business Objective, Life by Design. So when people say, have you taken Bold? Those of you that go to conference, have you taken Bold? I do believe we have virtual Bold still happening. And yet I am a big proponent of in-person Bold. So maybe we could kind of create an island version. I'll talk to Tammy, who is the leader of Bold. Tammy and Steve Schlueter. Okay. And our technology, Command is amazing if you use it. And I will say that strongly. It has got amazing features and benefits. It has become everything we've wanted it to become. So on this note, if you have any suggestions, please make them. So when they tell you, tell us about it. Give them the feedback. The only way that this gets better is because we use it and we tell them what we want it to do. So if you're using a different product, a different type of CRM, which is a contact management system, a database system, and you like certain features that Command maybe doesn't do yet, tell us about it. But for the most part, utilizing Command's features will enable you to stay consistently in touch with your database. Lars, you use Command at a high level, correct? Yeah. And we're using some smart plans in there. So when we get to that, I have a friend named Ashley who's going to come on, and she's going to show us some extra stuff that she's doing inside of Command. Also, she's going to give you some of her smart plans.
Yeah, maybe Xenia can tell a little bit about her training next week on Tuesday. So she's gonna do a beginner's course for everybody, actually, to explain a little bit about Command.
Xenia, are you on?
Hi, yes.
So can you just share with us what that will be and when that will be?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a beginner-friendly course. We're gonna walk through the system. We're gonna learn how to set up our profiles, how to work our database. We're gonna go through a little bit of everything at like a beginner level.
That's fantastic. I also want to give you as a resource, Xenia, I'm going to connect you with Ashley Capola. She is our regional tech trainer here at the Tri-State, and she's got a boot camp, and I'd love for you to learn the boot camp, and then maybe we could do that. So, okay.
Sounds
And
great.
the Command app, I will tell you, the Command app works with our KW family. So if you're in an area where there's no KW, you're not going to get the KW properties. If you are in an area that doesn't have IDX, in our area, our MLS talks to each other. And so we get the data from everybody's listings. If you're in the States, you'll notice, if you're in, let's say, Texas, you'll notice all of the companies when you go on our app. So the app may not be the best solution for you on the island. However, it does get them looking at the KW stuff. So in that light, it might be the only thing that's on the island that you want to, push so that they only see your KW listings and they call you. And then, of course, you could sell anybody's listing. Your market center will give you information about volume in units and how we're doing. And with us just starting, I would say that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that we together learn, encourage each other, and go out there and take market share. And by market share, I mean listings. Go and take listings. Go and meet with people who potentially want to sell their house. Find properties that are vacant. I know it's a challenge tracking down the owners, but get the inventory, and then you will not be susceptible to the market. When you have the listings, you have the leverage. If you are running only with buyers, you're susceptible to everybody else's listings. So understand that as a business owner, you want to position yourself with excellent skills on the seller side. Okay, and of course, we have what's called an ALC. ALC stands for Agent Leadership Council, and Agent Leadership Council is a amazing position. You need to be in your top, the top tier of production in your office, and you need to be willing to come from culture, come from culture, and it's almost like an advisory board. Now, I want you also to understand your operating partners, they have the right to make all decisions, because you know why? Because they took the risk. And although we have an amazing company that gives our agents a lot of say and a lot of leverage, and we love our agents, I just want you to always stay grateful and thankful to your operating partners that brought KW to the island. And it was an opportunity, and they were not just given it. They had to prove themselves to KW that they were the right people that we would get in business with. It's not just a money thing. So often we don't remember that. And because ALC has so much transparency of the company and so much say, sometimes we just forget that there is an owner of the company that, took the risk. And so let's respect that. Okay. Growth share and profit share, we'll be talking more about that, but I did share with you a little bit. It is no risk. It is not coming out of the agent's money. Well, so we'll talk about the growth share in a different setting. Okay, and then KW resources as we round out. So there are KW coverage, KW offers, KW manage, KW mortgage. In our world, we have other vendors as well that we work with, but on a national level, we do have all of these covered. But on a local level, I suggest you have your own partners, because people like to deal with people locally. And the communities that we spoke about, diversity, KW commercial, KW land. I know some people have the art of getting projects approved and going through the planning and zoning boards. I know you're probably 2 to 5 years out for a project on the islands, but there is a KW lands, KW commercial community. I would advise you to get involved with them. And then KW luxury. A lot of our islands offer tons of luxury product. You should be involved with that. KW military. If you've served, it's not just US. If you've served, military is big right now. KW new homes, that kind of goes with some luxury and land. Sports and entertainment, if you've ever represented anybody in the sports or entertainment world, you can be part of that group and network there. And then KW young professionals. I strongly advise KW young professionals on the island. If you don't already have a chapter, I think you should consider putting somebody as a lead and getting that done, because we're seeing amazing things happening with our young adults inside of the States. I mean, they take amazing trips together. It's all about travel with them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't travel to Aruba next. And then your career. So here's what I ask you to do. Close your eyes or just kind of sit back, and I'm going to read this to you. And I want you to kind of envision a bit of your business, right? Today is next year, 2024, November 16th, 2024. 1 year from today, your business is thriving. Your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value that you provide, and you think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career in gaining relationships and experiences and the income that you desire. You are the top agent in your market center, or you're the rookie of the year. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of your 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to $1 million, $200,000, financial freedom, paying off my debt, paying my student loans, providing for my mommy. There's so many things that you can be doing with a career in real estate, the life that it can afford you. The first thing it starts with is you deciding what you really want out of this. And not out of real estate, out of your life. And then real estate's the vehicle that helps you get it. Believe me, I am a testament to that. So when you do that, here's your big life. How much money is it? Draw this out for yourself, right? Figure this out. We're going to be together in a week from now, but when you come back, share with me, how much money will you be making in a year from now? Will you have an assistant? Will you have paid off the debt? Will you have booked that crazy vacation that you want to all over Europe? Sail all over the Caribbean? I don't know, whatever it is. And don't go, no, not next year. I won't be able to do it next year. Maybe in 5 years. Don't do that. That's the limiting belief that you do. Okay. Where are your relationships? So to achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why. The big why drives you guys through everything. All of the fun is fun until the wall gets hit and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? The market fell. It fell from underneath me. I don't know what to do. I need to pivot. I need to change. I'm not making what I used to make. You hook to your big why and you go, you know what? This is much bigger than the bank account right now. I need to make sure I can provide for my mom that might be in a nursing home in 5 years, 10 years, God forbid. I need to provide for my children who want to go to any school that they want to go to, drive any car they want to go drive to. And for me, for those of you who know me, I want to have an orphanage. I want to have a homework house for kids that don't have computers and moms that don't have laundry rooms. And I want to be able to house more women and children. I want to feed Africa. Like, that's much bigger than me. We have 2 acres of land in Africa. If I could get a fence around that, that food will be more than enough. Right now, the goats are eating it, but your big why, if you don't know what it is, guys, I encourage you in the next week to decide that too. And if not by next week, by the end of the year, you need to know what your big why is. And it's for now. BB's in my corner right now, and BB's got kids, but they're not grown. So she's got a different big why now than maybe Lars, who's sitting next to her in the box, right? Different than Sam. And maybe in a few years, Sam's like, well, your big why is always changing. So here's one of the money conversations though, where your commission goes. When we talk business, and I did this at the business planning clinic, if you say I want to make $100,000, you need to understand the other agent's going to get some of the commission. Your market center gets a fair share. You have business expenses. You have to pay taxes on the money, and then you take home your money. So that, I'm sure Marianne or somebody could teach a budget class, but we could definitely help you by the end of the year understand the economic model and how much money you need to be making, and then how much you're going to be spending so that you can take home what you need to make your dreams happen. Because at the end of the day, you are only left with a piece of the dollar, not the whole dollar. And as a business person, you understand that. And so how do you get your margins bigger? Well, in my world, I'll tell you there's 2 ways. One, and we'll get to that when we talk with sellers. One is take a higher commission. Protect your commission. Don't cave into that commission. If you take 3% and you decide to take 2, you just cut your whole entire salary by 33%. So stand firm on your commission. Know what it is. That's my standard. Be willing to walk away. The other way to make your piece be bigger, change your market. Start adding some higher end products into the market. So maybe you work 150, 200,000. Well, go preview some 400,000 and 500,000. Go sit in open house at a 500,000. Before you know it, you're at a 1 million. Now your checks look like 25,000 instead of 5,000. Okay, that's the way, because the same work goes into the $5,000 check that goes into the $25,000 check. Maybe a little bit more on either side, because believe me, the $5,000 check sometimes could be a lot more work than the $25,000 check. Okay, so we are in this class. I encourage to teach you to be a business owner, to think like a business owner. And like I said, that 100,000, when you look at your royalty, your cap dollar, 40,000, your business expenses, 100,000 really looks like 180,000. And if your average commission is 9,000, it looks like 20 transactions. If your average commission is 4,500, it looks like 40 transactions. So that's what I'm talking about, you know? And so this is where you get to decide, and this is an economic model, how much money you're going to be making. Just decide. Okay. And so here's the things that we're not going to do. What we're not going to do on this call, but I encourage you to do it, is this is your daily success system. That every day you are working, you have 10 conversations, 10 contacts added to your database, 10 handwritten notes. Hey, maybe to go along with those conversations, or maybe to go out to the people that you missed because they didn't answer your call, or they haven't responded to you, or you haven't been able to connect with them. Well, I don't have their phone number. Well, you have their address, send them a letter, right? 10-5-1 social media engagement, 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 direct message. Every day, 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 direct message. Every day, purposely, with 10 conversations, with adding 10 contacts, with writing 10 notes. That right there is the secret for success. Now, I've had agents that have done it and have had great successful businesses. More than 80% of you won't do it. I'm hoping for the 20%. I'm hoping for more than 20%. But that is where the 80-20 rule shows up as well. So powerful conversations gets results, lead generate, uncover motivations, identify objections, closing deals, speaking in terms of customer understandings, and building confidence. And so we're going to be going through a lot of these questions when we go through the seller and the buyer material. But here is the definition of your sphere. When we talk about sphere, people that you've met in one shape or another. Conversation, face-to-face, open house, via Instagram, and your back and forth dialogue. If there's two-way conversation, they are a met. And then this here is to show you that typically your buyer is going to move within 7 to 10 years. They buy a house, and there's a cyclicalness that 7 to 10 years they're going to need to move because life is going to happen. And so when we are staying in touch with people, we can't expect that we're not going to stay in touch with them for 10 years because then we've cut ourselves short. They're going to buy in a couple more years, and we cut ourselves short. And so the last thing here is we use this often in here. It's called the Ford method. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Like, hey, how are the kids? How's your husband doing? How's work going? Are you still over at that job? Hey, what do you like to do on Saturdays? What do you guys do? You do anything on Sundays? Dreams. Tell me where you'd buy a house if you ever wanted to move, or what's your ideal vacation? Right? Those are the kind of questions you get people talking, you get people to open up. Because guys, what's going to happen is as you go through your database and you go through, lead generating, you're going to tell me, well, I called them already. I don't have anything to say. I don't know what to call them about. I mean, I already sent that email. What do I do now? You're going to need to talk to those people 4 times a year. So those kinds of, tips that Ford, there's some other questions that I'm going to give you as well. They're going to be helpful, and it's going to be okay to put them right up in your room, in your board. You're making your lead generation calls, you're doing your lead generation activities. Make sure you bunker in your space, right? Make sure you bunker in your space. You got to have all the stuff here, your drinks, your phone, your wires, everything, so that you do not get disturbed. Okay. So that was a big, huge overview of KW. And that is what the first session is about, so that you get comfortable with the choice you've made to be aligned with KW. And all of the bells and whistles that we have. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'll be sending an email where you'll get the student manual. I'll send you, like I said, the videos, And I'll also send you the recording from this as well. So in finishing up our first session, can I please get 3 ahas?
I'm gonna be the first one. No, it's a big aha for me. I think you put it on the spot again, especially for the people that are long in real estate. I think we have to go back to basics sometimes. And no, thank you very much. Great.
Thank you, Edwin. Back to basics is real. I mean, I'm 20 years in the business, and some of this is hitting home for me as I reteach it. Francisco.
Yes, hi. I'm new to real estate. I worked for many years in the hospitality industry, mostly sales and customer service. And I can tell you, I've been in all kinds of trainings and stuff. I've never seen a speaker going right into it, right to the good stuff, to the meat. So thank you very much. I got great ideas, a lot of perspective on how things were going or are going. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a really good word for this session. This session is perspective. It's a good perspective session. And one more, please.
Yeah, I think that it's really nice to have you also talk about the people and the relationship and the red day. It's not that we do business and also do that, but it's one thing. It's not adding towards our business. It's intertwined with everything. And the fact that the relationships and the red day and the community work helps your business is amazing, but it doesn't stand apart from it. It doesn't stand alone. That's really nice. And I really like that about the culture.
Thank you. That's right. It's not compartmentalized, right? When I coach a whole person. I can't coach a piece of you. So you show up, the whole person shows up. And what I find is those that embrace that and authenticity and genuine shows up when they show up, find it much easier to be successful in this business. When I experience somebody and I say, well, that's not really who they are. I know them this way. And then they show up that way. I'm uncomfortable. So that's a really great point, Ricardo. Like the whole person shows up, and that's what this course will be about too. We're going to speak to the whole person. So I'm going to thank you so much. Thank you for letting me go over just a few minutes. It's 11:07 in your time zone, and we're going to be back. We're not going to be back Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. It'll be the following Thursday. And I know our admin team, thank you so much to Jill and Xenia for helping me set all this up. And as well to your leaders, like I said, for bringing me in, Marianne, Edwin, Ricarda, and Arno, to bring me in. I really am honored to be here for you and to be a resource. So I will see you in 2 weeks. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. I will send an email within a day. Okay? All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Go sell something.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.